The first night in Ibiza has been musical. After a clear lack of sleep, thanks to all the parties around, we hoisted the sails up and headed toward the southern portion of the island. I'm Stéphanie, and this is Valéry. In 2020, we found this abandoned sailing boat, a Vauquier Centurion 42, seriously damaged. We started the refit by making her a new keel. We spent 2 whole years doing renovation on the hull in the south of France. After all this time on boatworks, we splashed ORIYO and began sailing tests. Then we untied the lines and left France. In the second season, we share with you every week on Friday our sailing tips and our journey. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, give us the thumbs up. Find us as well on Instagram. To get more content and real-time news, join our team and become a Patreon.
So this morning, after a not quiet night, I'd say, we are leaving the anchorage in front of San Antonio harbor. We are heading south. We are not sure yet where we are going to anchor this afternoon, because the wind is from south, but it's supposed to have some waves from east or from north. It's like you never know where you're going to anchor beforehand. So we're heading south, we'll see there.
On the Mediterranean Sea, having the perfect condition to be sailing is not the rule, more of an exception. But this morning was great, and ORIYO wasn't the last to enjoy this awesome wind to tack comfortably onto this beautiful blue sea.
So far it's a pretty good sailing day. We thought we might be motoring the whole trip, but the wind is a bit more from the west, so we actually tack like twice, and now we are just sailing with a good speed, good wind. I think the average of our speed is around 6.5, and the wind is between 16 to 18 knots. The landscape here is really beautiful.
View from the sea lines, we can't help but notice its astonishing landscapes, the beauty of the nature, high rocky cliffs covered here and there by pine trees forests. Laying at their feet, the deep blue of the Med Sea is just hypnotizing. Ibiza looks nothing like the dancing and clubbing ambience reputations of hers. Actually, the exact opposite of last night when ORIYO was filled in with the sound of music. We learned afterward that San Antonio, where we were, was one of the most famous places to dance.
So,
here we are to the most beautiful anchorage to Ibiza.
yeah. Well, this day was something. We started by sail for 17 nautical miles and it was just awesome. Very, very nice sail with good wind, waves. ORIYO was, well, just happy. And us too. And then at the early afternoon, the wind died out and the waves kept rolling us, and we had to put the engine on. When we arrived at the south of the island, it was supposed to be protected because we were supposed to get some north wind, but instead we got almost no wind and waves from the southwest, which actually exposed all the anchorage. So we tried 5 or 6. We tried to go to the marina, but there were no one to help us find a place and a mooring. So we had to left. We ended up here in a not sexy anchorage at all.
We tried to call another marina in Formentera. This is on the island just in front of us and just near Ibiza. And there is no mooring for us. It was 140 euros for our boats. It's 42 feet. And it's crazy. But it's sailing life. It's made, and this is Ibiza.
And it's the Mediterranean Sea. You think you are going to get some wind and some waves, and then find something protected because on the map it's protected. But when you're there for real, it's nothing like expected.
The weather forecasts are not very good for us today.
No.
Because normally we have north wind during the afternoon, but we have south wind. I think the night will be, maybe you can see...
Roady a little bit.
You can see ole.
Yeah.
And so cruelly, we even got in the way of landing planes. Sadly, we couldn't catch any footage of the striking lightnings on the camera, but we recorded up to 55 knots of wind last night.
We've spent something like 4 days here in total, and we have to say it wasn't really easy. We had some bad weather. We had a lot of difficulties with the anchorage, and we couldn't even find a spot in a marina because everything was so full that the guys didn't even answer the phone when you call the marinas. So we had to stay on the anchorage, but the little trick is it's probably not like that all year long, but for now and this year in September, we kind of have the wind that change direction every 8 to 10 hours. Plus the waves kind of comes from all the way at the same time. So if you're at the anchorage on the south, you have the waves from the south. And if you are at the anchorage on the west, you have the waves on the west, and etc. and etc. So it's like there's no anchorage really like totally protected from the rolling. So you can be protected from the wind, but not from both wind and waves. I sincerely hope that it's not like that every month of every year, but for us, sadly, it was not comfortable at all, and well, it was quite a difficult step in our voyage. But anyway, it's too bad, but sometimes it's sailing life as well like this. You cannot have the opportunity to visit all the places as you want, as you would like to. So for us it will just be 4 days quite difficult. We've seen a lot of beautiful landscapes still, and we took the first opportunity, the first window we've got with the weather to go back to Spain and continue our trip to the south of Spain. So goodbye Ibiza, and probably, hopefully one day if we come back here it will be with a better condition and we could enjoy a little bit more about the beauty I'm sure you have to offer.
In the end, we didn't even went on land. Between the tricky anchorages and the backwash avoiding us from berthing with the dinghy, we kinda left with a bitter taste of a lot less images gotten than we thought we could make. From Ibiza, we draw a straight line to the continent and arrive in Moreja, 58 nautical miles farther. This year is rich of windstorms. It has been really hot and wet since August, and several places in the Med have faced big unpredicted storms. We should mention the over 100 knots of wind that blew in Corsica, causing damages to dozens of boats. Hopefully, we didn't encounter such strong winds ourselves, but the thunderstorm season seems to not be finished, and during this sailing we kind of played to a weird dance with a dark squall, blowing by the changing of winds from one side to the other of ORIYO. It is only when it was night and this weather phenomena finally behind us that we have seen far away the streaks of lightning flashing in the sky. Moreira is a charming and lovely town along the sea. We felt immediately like home. Walking the streets, we discovered great Spanish architecture, typical colored houses, nice squares full of restaurants and terraces and people. We had a super nice welcome from the marina. The city is fundamentally turned towards sea activities and the inhabitants do sail all year long in the region. These last few days spent in Moreja were a delight, and we will keep the best memories from here.
This morning we were supposed to leave here, Moreja, and go south. But unfortunately, when Valéry checked the engine last night, as he made a tour before each sailing, we noticed a little issue on the engine. It is about the generator belt, which seems to be wear out a bit quickly. It is not that old, as when we redid all the engine we of course changed it, so it was brand new, and we are at about 128 hours now of the engine time. It's supposed to stay in a good shape for more than 128 hours. We're not sure yet about the origin of the issue that we have, but the belt is not in good condition anymore, so we have to change it. And of course, the first thing that we did was to find a store around here where we could buy a new one, but of course there wasn't. So today, change of plans, we are hitting the road to Calpe, which is at about 13 kilometers from here. We found a bus that goes there, and we are taking the bus.
Every time we have the opportunity, we like riding the local buses. It's always a small adventure to discover a region and make errands at the same time. Every places have their own companies, so we have to find the lines and the stops hidden in the streets. And people are so nice here to help out anytime. All we have to do left is to take the good direction.
Okay, so we just arrived in the city of Calpe, where we are supposed to find a lot of different stores to get our generator belt. And hopefully we will find it quickly. Okay, then now it's done. Actually, it was so fast. We were on the bus. We didn't exactly know where we should get out, and we just saw from the window the name, well, the brand of the store where we wanted to start with. And we just arrived. There was like nobody. A nice, only Spanish-speaking guy, but we made ourselves clear. We're showing the old belt, and he was just, okay, if you want the 1 or 2, and we said, okay, how much is it? And we've got like 2 for less than 20 euros. The next bus that will bring us back to Moreira is only at 5 p.m. and it's like 12:15, so we have a lot of time to spare.
Calpe is a big city where stand a great amount of seaside resorts. Completely out of sync with the natural landscape surroundings, this city is a pile of glass, metal and concrete settled down between 2 prominent rocks. These old-fashioned big buildings and skyscrapers laying alongside with the sandy beaches and turquoise water make a jarring enclave, unbalanced, which is discordant, bringing a clash in the former landscape. It's a visual shock which brings the visitor in another place at another time. Meanwhile, Valéry has fun here. He tends to like these off-the-wall places that bodes well for his photographic inspiration. We invite you to go and see the photos he took, published on the Instagram page of Sailing ORIYO. Back to the boat with our new belt, Valéry starts to remove the old one and the generator. The engine room isn't really large, but it has been made with different access trapdoors. One in the back head allows to work easy on this part. The bad news, when he removed the generator holder, one of the bolts broke inside, so Valéry will need to get it back from the support to fit a new bolt before being able to set the generator with its new belt.
Hopefully we notice that the bolt is actually out from the other side, so we might be able to grab it and turn it out.
So I've got the screw, and it's a good news, because if I didn't do it, I would have to drill the screw inside here. And I think it will be very difficult to do that, so it's a good news. So it's 7 a.m. and we are leaving Moreira to another place. As always, we don't know exactly where we're going. Maybe in Alicante, maybe more in the south. It depends on the weather. Today, I think we will have a very light wind, and it depends on the mariners.
So it's 8 a.m. and we are leaving Moreira with a small something
It's always the same thing when you leave a place where you've been really great and which was just so nice to stay in. It's only a little bit sad, but we know that we are going south and well, in our way, and this is how the journey always is. We have different possibilities to where we are going to this afternoon. We have something like 38 nautical miles if we want to stop at Alicante.
So finally we have some wind. It's a good surprise. And normally the wind comes from this direction and finally it comes from this direction.
Yeah, it's the wind.
It's the wind.
And Spain.
It's it's Mediterranean.
Once again, the wind died down. These variations are well known and a annoying particularity of sailing the Med. But the coasts are so beautiful that we just wait and see.
In the Bay of Alicante, and it is, well, there's a lot of buildings just like everywhere we've seen on this side of Spain. But anyway, it was a long motoring day, another step achieved, but with the engine on, as is the Mediterranean Sea, and it's never easy to sail down here. It's either not too many wind, not enough, at least for sail, or too many, and especially usually pretty much all the time in the wrong direction. So it's difficult to make very awesome sailing days sometimes, and when that happens you are just enjoying a lot, because you know that it's not that easy to find the perfect weather window here to sail. But anyway, we made it after 6 hours with only, I think, 20 minutes of sailing with the sails. But we are here in Alicante, and well, it's another step down toward the south of Spain, and our next spot